Chapter 7. Heading back to school on Tuesday, Kyle knew he had to put on a brave face. He smiled as he walked with his class toward the auditorium for a special early morning assembly. The one where Mr. Luigi L. Lemoncello himself would announce the winners of the library lock-in essay contest. "I hope he picks yours," Kyle whispered to Akimi. "Thanks, I do too. But the lock-in won't be as much fun without you." "Well, when it's over and when the library's officially open, you can take me on a tour." "That's exactly what I was going to do, if I win. If you don't, I'm sending a flaming squirrel after Mrs. Cameron." For this assembly, the 7th graders, most of whom were 12-year-olds, were told to sit in the front rows close to the stage. That made Kyle feel a little better. At least he'd get a chance to see Mr. Lemoncello up close and personal. But his hero wasn't even on stage. Just the principal, the school librarian, Mrs. Youngins, and a red-headed woman in high-heeled shoes who Kyle didn't even recognize. She sat up straight, like someone who had slipped a yardstick down the back of her bright red business suit. Her glasses were bright red, too. "That's Dr. Yanina
I knew it!"
Zinchenko," gushed Miguel Fernandez, who was sitting on Kyle's right. "Who's she?" asked Akimi, seated next to Kyle's left. "The most famous librarian in the whole wide world." "All right, boys and girls," said the principal at the podium. "Now settle down. Quiet, please. It's my great honor to introduce the head librarian for the new Alexandriaville Public Library, Dr. Yanina Zinchenko." Everybody clapped. The tall lady in the red outfit strode to the microphone. "Good morning." Her voice was breathy with a hint of Russian accent. 12 years ago, this town lost its one and only public library. It was torn down to make room for an elevated parking garage. Back then, many said the internet had rendered the old-fashioned library obsolete, that a new parking garage would attract shoppers to boutiques and dress shops near the old bank building. But the library's demolition meant that those of you who are now 12 years old have lived your entire lives without a public library. So they've never had a library.
I feel bad for them.
I feel bad for them too. We love going to the library.
Libraries are awesome, especially since you can get books.
I know. She looked down at the front rows. "This is why, to kick off our summer reading program, 12 12-year-olds are going to be selected to explore the wonders awaiting in Mr. Lemoncello's new library. You will, of course, need your parents' permission. We have slips for you to take home. You will need a sleeping bag, a toothbrush, and if you please, a change of clothes." She smiled mysteriously. "You might consider packing 2 pairs of underwear." Okay, thought Kyle. That's bizarre. Did she think 7th graders were toilet trained? There will be movies, food, fun, games, and prizes. Also, each of our 12 winners will receive a $500 gift card toward the purchase of Lemoncello games and gizmos. Oh, man! $500 worth of games and gear? Kyle sank a little lower in his seat. The next time someone gave him an extra credit essay assignment, he'd turn it in early. And now, to announce our winners.
He's probably not going to be.
The man behind the new library, the master gamester himself, Mr. Luigi Limoncello, and Miss Dr. Zinchenko gestured to her left. The whole auditorium swung their heads. People were clapping and whistling and cheering. But nobody came on stage. The applause petered out, and then on the opposite side of the stage, Kyle heard a peculiar sound. It was a cross between a burp and a squeak from a squeak toy. Tomorrow, Chapter 8.